Welcome to the CME Season 4 podcast. Today we will be interviewing Ava. She is a student here at C-Tech. In this episode, we will be covering school. What is your favorite school subject and why?
Well, my favorite school subject used to be English whenever I had an English class there. I don't really have a favorite now, but it used to be English, and it was because I've always been good at writing, and I've always been into reading. Like, those are, like, my top things. Like, in elementary school, I would always get A's on spelling. I would go home, and then I would be like, hey, these are the spelling words for this week. And my mom would read them off, and I could spell it without even looking at the paper. And so that was always really good for me. And writing, I used to be horrible at it. I used to write my sentences and I wouldn't leave space for the words. So the words would be they would all be connected. I don't know how I got better at that, but it's always just been something that I've liked doing, and I've gotten better over the years. And I've had about 3 journals just full of just stuff that I write, whether it's good or bad. I haven't really wrote recently, but I mean, it's still something that I've always loved.
Question number 2. Who was your favorite teacher throughout school?
Like elementary, middle school?
Elementary, middle school, high school.
My favorite elementary teacher, I don't really remember elementary, so I can't really answer that one. Middle school, her name was Miss Bell. She was my English teacher. She was really nice. I don't really remember much, but she was just really nice. Or my math teacher. Her name was Miss Panagopoulos.
You're lying.
Nope, her name was Miss Panagopoulos, and everyone called her Miss Pan, because no one could say it. But yeah, her class was also fun. She was the only teacher that I've ever liked for my math. I had never liked math. I was never good at it, but she was a really good teacher. She was very sweet. She was very kind. And high school, Miss Schreindel or Mr. Wallace. Yeah, he's new, but he's a young teacher. He's it's not weird whenever he says something that we would say as kids. And Miss Schreindel, again, she was the English teacher. I've always loved English. She's also very kind. She's always been nice. My freshman year, I had a panic attack. We had to do this, I forgot what it was. It was it was a class chant, but they were telling us to make it up. And of course the boys made it up, and it was very stupid, and I felt way too embarrassed to even do it. So I was sitting there on the bleachers, my legs were shaking, I was shaking in general. My hands were sweaty. I couldn't breathe. I was about to start crying, and she told me I could just sit down next to her and I didn't have to do it. She was also very okay with the fact that I don't like going up and presenting things in class. So she was okay with me not doing that. But then over the years, after I got used to the class, she would say go do it. Just get up, do it, you're fine. So those would be my favorite teachers.
The next question. What was COVID like for you at home?
At first, we all stayed home, and our parents would go to the school and pick up packets of work that we would have to do. And we would have to do it at home. And then I don't remember if it was turn it in at the end of the week or not. I think it was that. And then they would go turn that in. After we did that, we would have to go they would go turn it in, and then we would get another one, and we would just do it at home. So it was like that. And then a little bit after, we went back to school, but we had an A-B schedule. So it was some kids would go on Monday and then not go Tuesday, Wednesday, not go Thursday. We only had Monday through Thursday school. That's why it was AB. It was even days. We never had Friday school. But yeah, after we had to wear masks, obviously 6 feet apart, blah, 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 blah. But it was AB schedule. And then after that, then they were talking about just going virtual, because that wasn't really working. But they didn't, and we were able to do full school, Monday through Thursday. We also had to wear school shirts. That wasn't very fun. We had uniforms, it would say the name of our school. So, yeah.
Do you do any after-school activities, whether it's a sport, band, anything?
I'm a cheerleader at Waitsburg High School.
What's your favorite cheer memory?
Favorite cheer memory?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm probably going to have to think on that one, and then let's just move on.
Come back to it.
Okay.
Why did you join CME?
there was this like open house thing before school started, and it was like last year when they were like first introducing all the kids to it for the upcoming school year. And so my boyfriend and I and his dad went to CTech, and we were just looking at the classes, seeing what was going on. At first I was going to do criminal justice. That was something that I've liked doing for a long time. But instead, I chose to do this class, mostly because criminal justice was like, it just felt too hard of a class for me. Like, yeah, I loved doing it, but it felt, this is going to sound a little weird, but I felt like there was too much to do in there. Like,
Too much physical activity.
yeah. I am not really a runner, and so that kind of would prevent me from doing that type of thing. So I chose to do this class instead because this is also something that I've always liked to do. When I first met Sayers, Mr. Sayers, he was telling us about the class and what we would do. And then I saw the recording studio, and he was talking about how, like, we can do music in here, we can do podcasts, all this stuff. And I was like, that's actually really cool. Like, that's another thing that I've liked doing. Another dream of mine was to become, like, a singer when I'm older, maybe. Or, like, be on a podcast. So I decided to do this class, and it's actually become a good class so far in the year, and I'm excited for what we're going to do in the future. And yeah.
Thank you. Okay, 2 more questions. Where were you born, and when did you move up here?
I was born in Illinois, and at a very young age, I moved to Arizona. It was actually, no, it was more like Bullhead, kind of, and lived there with my parents. And then I got taken away. I went to foster care for a little bit. I was 8, and then we went around that area, around that, like, tri-state area. I went to Kingman, Arizona. And that's where I grew up the rest of my life after that. I wound up getting adopted and lived there since I was like 15, I want to say. And then my dad got a new job up in Walla Walla. He got like promoted, I think. He got like higher up in his job. But the only place they had it in was Walla Walla, so we moved up here. And I've been living here ever since. So it's been like, we moved up here in March of 2023, I think.
Do you like your new school or your old school better?
Definitely my new school. I was in 8th grade when I moved up here. And when I moved up here, a lot of bad things started happening in where I used to live. A few of my friends that I've known since I was like little, like kids I went to daycare with, were getting in trouble with, like, violence, and they now have, like, criminal records. I don't want to say names for their privacy. So, a friend of mine, I've known him since daycare. His mom worked at the daycare, so he went there too. He got in trouble, I want to say almost a year ago. He shot somebody. He was scared, and he did it out of defense. But instead of telling the cops that he did it, he ran away. So he got in trouble for that. Another friend of mine got in trouble for robbing a place, I'm pretty sure. And then another people just getting in trouble with, like, guns and drugs and all this stuff. And so I'm kind of sad that we have to move back up there because I don't want to be influenced by those people. I don't want to. I just have the fear of, like, maybe I will get involved in that stuff, and I really don't want that to happen. But at the same time, I'm older than I was when I used to live there. So I can say no to that. I can become friends with people who don't do stuff like that easily. And so, yeah, I like my new school better because people are just genuinely better here than they were there. I have made a lot of new friends, and since I moved up here, my life has changed for the better. I have become a whole new person, and I have definitely found my way with God a lot more than I had up there too. I used to go to church every Sunday, but the church that we go to, it was Presbyterian, and that's not really us. That's more like songs like from hymns and stuff, like opera. We don't really like that stuff. We like the upbeat, like hip, like pop stuff. So we're gonna go to a church in Walla Walla, Life Church. We just haven't had the time to do that.
I've been there before. It's really good.
Yeah, I've heard lots of good things about it. And so, yeah, I've definitely become a better person up here than I was there. So I would definitely say my new school is better.
Final question. It's off topic. Your favorite fast food restaurant And what do you get there?
Wendy's, and it's a bacon cheeseburger. But the only Wendy's we have up here is in Tri-Cities, and I don't get it often, so I'm going to say McDonald's, and it's a Big Mac.
Thank you, Ava. Want more exciting content from the Careers in Media class? Subscribe to our YouTube channel at CTech Careers in Media or visit myctech.org. Thank you for listening.